Welcome to Tales from Panperipta, where clouds wear capes and dreams drift on starlit winds. Each episode brings you gentle, whimsical bedtime stories set in the vast and magical realm of Panperipta, a world full of sleepy trolls, moon-sweeping tinkers, and curious frog inventors. Whether you're here to unwind or doze off, you're always welcome in Panperipta. Take a deep breath and drift.
Story 1, Princess Rena and the Puzzle of the Turning Sky. Introduction. In the sky-tipped realm of Panperipta, where lantern clouds floated in flocks and mountain winds carried riddles between peaks, there lived a clever princess named Rena of Cloud Petal Spire. Rena, who preferred puzzles to banquets and mysteries to mirrors, awoke one morning to find that the sky itself had turned upside down. Chapter 1. The Inverted Horizon. When Rena stepped onto her balcony, the clouds were below her feet and the rivers hung glittering above her head like silver ribbons. Birds flew upside down, singing backward songs. Rena squinted, noticing that the stars, though it was morning, were glowing faintly in patterns she'd never seen before. She fetched her talking umbrella, Percival, who muttered, "Looks like the world's had a tumble, my lady." Rena smiled faintly. "Then we'll simply have to solve the puzzle." Chapter 2. The Clocks of Mirror Hall. Guided by an old map of riddles, Rena journeyed with Percival to Mirror Hall, a palace of glass where timepieces chimed without hands. The clocks spoke in rhyme. The sky will write when the question is asked of what is forward and what is past. Rena tilted her head. She whispered a puzzle back. What is forward is a step into dawn. What is past is the dream you rest upon. The clocks shivered, aligning themselves, and the glass halls rang like bells. Chapter 3. The Turning of the Sky. A great wheel rose over the horizon, larger than a kingdom, turning slowly. Rena understood. Panperipta's sky was a grand puzzle mechanism, its pieces shifting until the right answer was spoken. With her riddle solved, she took Percival's handle and spun him like a lever. The world groaned gently, as if stretching after sleep. Slowly, the rivers returned to earth, stars retreated, and the morning sky found its proper place. Epilogue. Back at Cloud Petal Spire, Rena poured herself tea and chuckled softly. A puzzle is only frightening until you turn it the right way around. And so the princess rested, the day bright and balanced once more. Story 2. Jasper Blinkroot and the Talking Reflection. Introduction. In the root-woven realm of Panperipta, where caverns sang with dripping echoes and mushrooms glowed in twilight gardens, there lived a gnome named Jasper Blinkroot. Jasper was curious to a fault, often consulting not books or maps, but his own reflection in any puddle or polished stone. One evening, his reflection decided to talk back. Chapter 1. The Whispering Pool. Jasper leaned over an underground pool, lantern in hand. Instead of copying his movements, his reflection blinked twice and said, "Jasper, you're late." The gnome dropped his lantern with a splash. "Late for what?" The reflection smirked. "For the journey beneath the roots. You've asked questions for years. Now it's time to answer one." Chapter 2. The Cavern of Doubled Paths. Following the reflection's hints, Jasper squeezed through tunnels until he reached a cavern split in two, one path glowing with red crystals, the other shimmering with blue. His reflection, still visible in the puddles that lined the floor, urged him forward. Jasper paused, unsure. He spoke aloud. "If you're me, what would I choose?" The reflection replied, "You'd choose both, but since that's impossible, you must choose neither." So Jasper sat down, patient at last, and waited. The cavern shifted, paths dissolving into a single golden tunnel. Chapter 3. The Root of Truth. At the end of the tunnel stood a root thicker than a castle, humming with a heartbeat. Jasper touched it, and his reflection stepped out beside him, no longer bound to water. "You see?" the double whispered. "Sometimes the answer is not to hurry down a path, but to pause until the right one appears." Jasper nodded. His curiosity had always been quick, but now it learned patience. Epilogue. Back in his tunnels, Jasper peered at his reflection in a kettle of soup. It winked, then fell still. He chuckled softly. "I'll wait next time," he murmured. Story 3. Madame Drowsel's Lullaby of the Falling Stars. Introduction. In the dream drift realm of Panperipta, where moon breezes carried whispers and comets nested in soft clouds, there lived a sleep sorceress named Madame Drowsel. She spoke in lullabies, painted dreams upon canvas, and once, when the stars began to fall, she sang them back into place. Chapter 1. The First Falling Star. One night, as Drowsel painted a dream of fields and rivers, a star crashed through her window and landed upon her pillow. It sobbed like a child, frightened of the endless sky. Drowsel gathered it in her arms and sang, "Rest, little ember, don't tumble so far. The night is your cradle. You're already a star." The star quieted, glowing warmly, but outside, dozens more streaked earthward. Chapter 2. The Song Across the Skies. Drowsel climbed to her balcony where her harp waited. She strummed notes of velvet, and her lullaby spread across the heavens. The stars wavered in their descent, some halting mid-air, some rocking gently like cradles. Her song reminded them of home, of constellations waiting. But the sky was heavy, and her voice alone was not enough. Chapter 3. The Chorus of Dreams. So she called upon the dreamers of Panperipta, every sleeping creature from trolls beneath bridges to fairies in lantern glades began to hum their dreams aloud. The combined sound rose like a tide. The stars lifted, returning to their constellations, twinkling in gratitude. Epilogue. Drowsel tucked the small star into her sleeve pocket, where it would glow softly forever. She whispered, "Even stars need a lullaby." Then she too drifted to sleep, painting dreams upon the back of her eyelids. Story 4. Captain Thistlegrin and the Ship of Feathers. Introduction. In the sea-swept realm of Panperipta, where waves sparkled with starlight and gulls argued with mermaids over seashells, there sailed a gnarled but merry sailor named Captain Thistlegrin of the Driftwood Fleet. One dawn, his ship was stolen not by pirates, but by a flock of birds. Chapter 1. The Feathered Thieves. Captain Thistlegrin awoke to find gulls, herons, and sparrows flapping mightily, carrying his driftwood ship into the sky. "Oi, that's mine!" he cried, leaping into a rowboat and paddling furiously after them. The bird screeched, "It sails better in air than sea." Chapter 2. The Sky Voyage. Clambering aboard via a dangling rope, Thistlegrin found his ship afloat among clouds. The birds had lined the masts with feathers, and the sails caught not wind, but updrafts. "If this is piracy," he grumbled, "it's the strangest I've seen." Yet he couldn't deny the beauty. Stars above, sea below, and endless air around. Chapter 3. The Captain's Bargain. The birds explained they wished to migrate farther than wings allowed. Thistlegrin scratched his beard. "Then we'll strike a bargain, half the voyage in the sky, half upon the sea." The birds chirped in agreement, and together they steered the ship like no vessel before, a feather fleet, half air, half ocean. Epilogue. When he returned to port, sailors refused to believe his tale, though feathers still clung to the rigging. Thistlegrin only laughed. A ship's true voyage isn't where it sails, but how wild the story becomes after. Story 5. Queen Nibbleknap and the Lost Buttons. Introduction. In the pocket-stitched realm of Panperipta, where forgotten trinkets whispered in drawers and loose change rolled itself home, there ruled a tiny monarch named Queen Nibbleknap. She sneezed often, teleported via lost buttons, and one day misplaced the very button that held her kingdom together. Chapter 1. The Vanishing Button. Nibbleknap sneezed so hard one morning that her royal button popped loose and vanished. With it went half the pocket kingdom, tumbling into scattered heaps of socks and string. "Oh, fiddlesticks!" she cried. Chapter 2. The Drawerlands. She leapt from drawer to drawer, tumbling through sewing kits, dusty attics, and coat pockets. Every sneeze took her somewhere new, but the button always eluded her. Finally, she found herself in the Drawerlands, where all lost objects gathered in sleepy heaps. Chapter 3. The Button's Choice. There, she discovered the royal button sitting proudly atop a hill of marbles. "I was tired of being fastened," it said. Nibbleknap knelt, wheezing from another sneeze. "Then will you return not as a fastener, but as a crown?" The button considered, then hopped into her palm. Epilogue. Back in the Pocket Kingdom, Nibbleknap wore the button proudly as a crown, no longer fastening, but reigning. She sneezed once more, and the whole realm giggled with her.
Panperipta grows quiet for now, but its skies still shimmer and its stories never sleep. Stay as long as you like. Another tale is always waiting. Take a deep breath and drift.